Okay, let's give the Lord a hand, guys. Let's give the Lord a hand. Let's give the Lord a hand. How many of you are visiting us for the first time? How many of you are visiting us for the first time? Okay, can you stand up? Let's give you a hand. Your name is? Just wait. Your name? Sineo. Okay, Arubidua Sineo. Let's give Sineo a hand, guys. Let's welcome her. And also we have my brother here, Ernest. He's been gone for a long time. So I've been telling him that we've been playing, and so he says, a miracle can happen now. So a miracle happened. He came back to visit today. So let's give him a hand as well for being with us right now. Okay, that's perfect. Today we are teaching on dating, right? We are teaching on love, dating, marriage, and sex, right? Yes, that's what we are teaching about. So Sasha and CJ came here and they started the series with us by teaching on love, right? Yeah, they started and they taught on love. So I'm going to ask you to give me 5 types of love that they taught on. They taught on 5 types of love, right? Just one. One person, give me one. Felicia? Agape, what does it mean? What does it mean? Oh, now the hands are down. What happened? What does it mean? Emma? Yes, unconditional love of God. Thank you. You have yourself a lollipop. You? Phileo. It means what? Friendship love. Okay, thank you. Rex? Eros. What does it mean? No, the two what? People like gays, lesbians. I don't understand. Huh? A girl and a boy dating. Oh my goodness. Okay. Emma. Storage. What does it stand for? Family love. Okay. Thank you. Another one. Rex, you are not listening? Eros, yes. It's romantic love between? You finish yourself. You want to kill yourself right now? Romantic love between husband and wife. Let's give Dogo a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was lovely. I know Sasha and CJ, they did a great job in terms of, that's the foundation of what is going to take us throughout, because all these things, they are put together by love, right? So today we'll be teaching on dating. I'll be teaching on dating. I don't want to teach, I want us to have conversations. So, how many of you have been hurt before because of njolo? How many of you have been hurt before because of dating? How many of you have been hurt before because of dating? Okay, no problem. That means a few people have dated here. Yeah, so it's good that you guys are waiting to hear this because it's very, very important. So we'll be talking about modern dating and biblical dating. Let's say modern dating, and biblical dating. Right? So you can tell me what modern means, modern dating means. What do you think when the word modern dating means? Okay, before that, you can say, what does dating mean to you? Dating. What does dating mean to you as an individual? Dating. You don't know anything about dating? What does it mean, Era? Guan, don't be shy. Don't be shy, okay? Hey. Huh? Hey. You say just taking someone out and going, maybe eating and doing some other stuff, okay? But here, because you're talking basis of love and all this other stuff, what are you guys saying? Like, what is dating? When I say I'm dating so and so. Emma? An agreement made between two people who have feelings for each other, right? It's a romantic relationship between two people, right? That's what we are calling dating, right? So now, what is modern dating? Modern dating. Now you know what dating is. Now what is modern dating now? Modern. modern stuff, modern phones, modern cars. You're no longer using wagons, you're using like Teslas, you're using Volvos, you're using all sorts of kind of things. But we're talking about modern dating. What does modern mean to you? Modern dating mean? It means the current dating style, right? The way things are being done right now, right? By people going out and asking each other out and saying, confessing their feelings to each other and all that's how it is, right? So the way it is done here is either a man or a woman approaches somebody else and they talk about how they feel about each other, and it has to be intentional, or they are looking to gain something from that thing. That is what we are seeing currently. We basically define modern dating as a method of introducing and carrying out a pre-marital relationship between a single man and a single woman, right? But in these days, we see men and men, right? We see women and women, right? Or we see concoction, we see both, right? Why? Because of how the world tells us, right? Right now, you watch a movie. I've watched so many movies in my lifetime. And you watch a movie, let's say you're watching a romantic movie and all these other things. People, within 1 hour, 30 minutes, people break up with each other, they get married, they get divorced, and all these other things. And people call it falling in love. I fell in love. You get it? So people, they say they fall in love, and that's what happens. That's what the media is giving us. That's what the current society is feeding us. But we want to talk more into the modern dating and the biblical dating today, right? That it begins with either a man or a woman initiating with the arm, saying, so I know currently here in this culture, our Botswana culture, you're just walking around, or somebody walks through the youth center, it's a lady or it's a guy. When you see it's a lady, you say, she's beautiful. I think I need to get her number. That's what you guys do, right? Don't pay the digits. Don't pay the digits. If you're trying to be holy, you'll be like, I was reading the book of Numbers there and I didn't find your number. Can you give me your number? So like, yeah. So if that's what you guys do if you're trying to be romantic, and or you get all those lines and all this other stuff. But that's the wrong way of doing it. You get it? That's the modern way. Then later you guys text each other on WhatsApp or on Facebook, or you call each other and all that. Then bang, your relationship is taking off. Already, you don't even taxi. Like an aeroplane taxis, before it takes off, it goes out slowly, until it gets momentum, then it goes off. But not with us, right? You get a number this morning, you're having sex later in the evening. That is conducted outside the formal oversight or authority of either person's family or church. That's modern. It's all on you. This is my life. I live it for myself. That's what modern dating tells us, right? And I have done it before. Yes, I've done it before. I like to. We had a line with my friends that every man has a bag full of monkey tricks. That you always have an ace above your sleeve. You can pull it out at any time and do that. So I did that before. I could get numbers. We go to parties, get numbers from girls, to talk to them, and all these other things. But even though we did it, that's never my thing. Like I didn't really enjoy it that much. That may or may not have marriage as its goal, and it's often purely recreational. Ke go ga monate. Ake ra ke bone tshozanyane ngwana, ke bone le baba, ke le babitsa mababa. Re ke bone le babanyana le ngwana. Ke bone hankanyane ngwana. Ake le bua ya lo le tshetsela go strateng. So that's the only thing that you guys do, and this is what we see as a modern kind of dating. Then there's no authority involved. Authority as in parents or pastors or anyone who's older than you to guide you in terms of what you guys are doing. You get it? For me, I've had like four serious relationships. And in all these relationships that I had, my parents knew those people. Or my aunts, my guardians, people that I stayed with, they knew those people. But in the beginning, those people just like, okay, it's me who started everything. Then you go on with this other thing. Then they'll check me at home, or I'll visit them at their house and everything. And it's not like we are sitting down and telling our parents, no, I'm in a relationship with this person. You get it? We just say, because older people can just tell. They can see your behavior. They can see how you act and how you do things and say, this is true. There must be in a relationship. But other older people will come and ask you, what are you guys up to? What are you guys doing? Then you have to answer, right? So that's what we see in modern dating. But now we're going to be talking about biblical dating. All right? What's the difference between biblical dating and modern dating, right? We may define biblical dating as a method of introducing and carrying out a pre-marital relationship between a single man and a single woman, right? It's a method whereby you are under authority. It's different from that one because you say, I'm interested in being in a relationship with this person for so and so reason. And the only reason is for you to be getting into marriage. And it's called courting, right? So it's more about commitment than other things that are associated with. But with modern dating is where now it's about you guys being intimate and having fun and spending time together and all these other things. But with this one, it's about commitment. I am committing to you. You are committing to each other to say, this thing is going to end in marriage. This is how everything is going to roll out. So there's no bailing out because it's an agreement. You get it? And that is conducted under the authority of a woman's father or family or church. So normally when courting happens is when now you go to the family of the girl and you get introduced there, you introduce yourself there, and you tell your intentions. Because by you saying you want to be in a relationship with someone, that means now you are not a boy anymore. You are a man, right? So you go there, you introduce yourself to the family and the dad. If they agree, sometimes they chase you away. But if they agree, you'll be under their supervision. You guys spend time together in the presence of family, in the presence of friends, and everything, so that you guys can get to know each other better and assess and see if this really person is, are they good for me? Are they good for my future? And those are the things that are entailed in this thing. But now, when you're looking at modern dating, you're looking at biblical dating, you cannot open the Bible and say, this is the prescription for dating, okay? If it's described in the Bible, it doesn't mean that it's prescribed. It's a prescription. You get it? If it's written down in the Bible, it doesn't mean that that's how it's supposed to happen, right? But the Bible, the Word of God tells us that it's God's breath. The Word of God is breathed by God, it's inspired by God, and it's for rebuking and for teaching and for correcting. So we are using the Bible to say, this is what God is expecting of us as Christian believers, right? As people. So, as opposed to the modern dating, this is what you do. Let me finish here first. That always has marriage, or at least a determination regarding marriage to a specific person as its direct goal. So we are starting that relationship to say, we are going to end up being married. So it's not about, oh, let me test drive my girlfriend, let's go out, let's go do this, let's go for a sleepover, and all these other things. No. It's not about that. It's about looking into marriage. And marriage is what? It's a Christian thing, right? You see, the Bible talks about marriage, right? But again, the Bible tells us that we should not be unequally yoked with non-believers, right? We should not be unequally yoked with non-believers. So, can we read from 1 Corinthians 9? No, 1 Corinthians 6. Yes, sorry. 1 Corinthians 6. 9 to 7. 9 to 7. Yes. I just want to show you that what the Bible thinks about us being involved with other people, us being intimate with other people, us being in relationship with other people. Because again, we see in the Bible where there were gays, men that were having sex with other men that were in a relationship with other men. And this was happening Gomorrah and Gomorrah. That is where it was happening. And God, what he did, that he killed everyone who was involved in that thing. So that means God is saying, I'm against this thing. I don't want this thing to be happening. So gays and lesbians, right now we are not talking about gays and lesbians there. We kick them out as Christians. We don't believe in those kind of relationship. We believe in the kind of heterosexual relationship. between two different sexes, between two opposite sexes, right? That's what we believe in. So can we read there? Can somebody read for me? 1 Corinthians 6, 9-7. Oh, sorry. 7 to 19. Just read the first two verses. Yeah, ma'am. Sorry about that. Let me read it here. It talks about commanding us to be pure and seriousness of sexual sin and instruction regarding marriage. It talks about sexual sin, that God is against sexual sin, that any hint of sexual sin that is going to happen in your life, then it's wrong, okay? Then can someone turn to 1 Thessalonians 4, 1-8. 1 Thessalonians 4, 1-8 is one of the books that were written by Paul. As you go backwards in your Bible. Tapan, can you read it for me? Tapan, 1 Thessalonians 1-8. 4, 1-8. Chapter 4, verse 1-8. Verse 1-8. Yeah, thank you. So it says we should not take advantage of each other. You should not take advantage of your brother. You should not take advantage of your sister, right? In terms of sexual things and all this other things, that sexual immorality should be far. So these are the words of God, the words of the living God, the words of the I am. These are the words that we are using to guide us on how we are going to date, on how we are going to select our spouses, and how we are going to do life. This is how we do it as Christians, right? If you read in Songs of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 7, it says, do not awaken love before it pleases, before the proper time. You should not awaken love before its proper time, right? Because you're going to burn yourself. You don't know what you're doing. So that's an understanding. These are the words that you use to guide us. You cannot open a chapter that says, no, if you are to date, you're going to find a soulmate. Soulmate is something for movies. You get it? Yeah, no, honestly, a soulmate is something. No, there's someone on the other side of the world that is made just perfectly for me. I feel like, no. There's nothing like that. Okay? The Bible tells us that you should not be unequally yoked with non-believers. That means, as a Christian, if you're going to date, you're going to date within a population of believers. It's a believer, it should be a believer. Right? The first time. But again, in this world, you have choice. How many people are Christians? Not even in the world is a Christian. So that means your circle is going to go down. Then you're going to have to pick from that group of believers, right? Then when you are picking from that group of believers, is this person that you are picking, do they have core values? Do they have things that you share that are common, that are going to take you further together? And you say, no, not this one. This one doesn't believe in me going into full-time ministry, doesn't believe in me pursuing my dreams and all this other stuff, so I'm not going to go with this one. So that means you're going again to reduce that. Again, if you read in 1 Timothy 5, 1-3, it says, treat single women as sisters in Christ with absolute purity. Titus 2, 1-8 says, young men and women should focus on self-control and godliness, right? So those are the things that we are called to. Those are the things that we use to describe biblical dating, right? You see, like other people come to say, but King Solomon and King David, they had concubines and they had, small houses and all this other stuff. Like we see in our community, there are small houses, right? And you see other people having 2-3 girlfriends and all this other stuff. And they'll go into the Bible and say, no, because King so-and-so had so many concubines and wives and all that. So when the Bible describes it, it doesn't mean that it's prescribed for us. It's not a pill for everyone. Okay, so it's just being described, and God is against that. Okay, just a description that King Solomon had so much wives and concubines and all this other things, side chicks. We call concubines are side chicks. They had side chicks, and King David also had side chicks and all this other stuff. It's just a description. It's not a prescription. Okay. When you go to a doctor, the doctor writes you a prescription that this person needs paracetamol. Then you go to the pharmacy and they give you the paracetamol because it's a prescription for your key, right? But description, you just say, no, this is your symptoms, but just go home and sleep, you'll be fine. You don't need a prescription for that. That's what the Bible does. Okay? Sometimes they just describe them, not meaning that you should take them and run away. Okay? Now I want us to talk about the differences between modern dating and biblical dating. Modern dating philosophy assumes that we will have several intimate romantic relationships before we can even get married. Okay? Ke bona gore mona ha ke sure gore ha ke ena santse ke testa yala ke bona gore ga go hela ka. Okay, you are test driving. That's what you are saying. You just test driving. Hey, I'm still young, mona. I'm still young. I'll just settle some other time. That's what all of you guys are saying. That's what most of the people are saying. That's what we have been seeing being done in our families, right? That people are just there, modern dating says, no, it's okay to just go check if that one is perfect for you. If she pisses you off, or if he pisses you off, then to hell with it, you can get another one. And they'll tell you, there's so many girls out there, there's so many men out there, don't worry. Just enjoy your life. This is your life, right? Okay, so as opposed to the biblical dating is about us committing to each other. It's more about commitment, not enjoyment. It's about commitment. Us saying, no, you know what, I'm going to commit to this person until I get there, until I get married to them. Why? Because God said when men and women get married, they should have babies and all these other things. He honors marriage. God honors sex in marriage. God honors other stuff in marriage, not outside marriage, right? So those are the differences that we have to. And again, there's no difference. In the modern dating, there's no difference between your spirituality and all this other stuff. Whoever you see, you just take them. And they say, no, because they're beautiful and all other things. But, beauty fades away with time. Are you going to be there? You get it? I was asking Gift. He's not here. I was talking to Gift. He came and told me that, Ima, I got myself a girlfriend and all this other stuff. Okay, I said, fine. No, he said, no, Kwalata means like she's really beautiful. Okay, now let's sit down. Let's talk about your girlfriend. She's beautiful, it's fine. But your girlfriend, she's at the house right now, right? She's doing some chores. Let's say she's cooking. So, as she's cooking, oil spills in her eyes. Now she doesn't have her eye. Are you going to get married to her? He says, brother, easy. How can you think like that? But those are the things that we have to think about. You can say you really, really, really love someone, and when they go out, they get hit by a car, they get amputated their leg. They're going to be proud to be working with that person, or they're working with crutches with one leg while we have two legs. Do you really love them to that point? No. Most of you guys are going to give an answer no. Why? Because it's all about being cute and having fun and all these other things. You're not committed. You just want to have fun. Right? That's what happens. That's modern dating. It gives you that. It gives you temporary solutions. Right? Modern dating tells you that if you're living in a house and the bulb goes off, you go find another house. You don't buy the bulb to replace it. You get it? It's more like that. People are like, no, you want to microwave everything. You want everything to be quick and get quick results. Modern dating tends to assume that you'll spend a great deal of time together. Modern dating says, no, we have to spend time together. We have to go to know each other. We have to do this thing. But biblical dating says, no, you have to spend time around people. Why are you spending time around people? Why? Why are you spending time around family? Why are you spending time around friends? And not just the two of you. But the devil wants us to keep us in isolation. Because in isolation, smooshy starting. You start to kiss, you start to touch, you start to do stuff and everything, and you end up crossing the line as a Christian. You end up having sex, you end up doing things that you regret at the end. Things that don't glorify God, things that don't even honor your parents. Right? Some of you right now, you have smartphones, and you take pictures with your boyfriends and your girlfriend. I'm like, right now, if I can get your phone and just look at the 5 pictures of you and your boyfriend and your girlfriend, are you going to be proud for me to see those pictures? If you show them to your mom or your dad or your uncle, are they going to be proud to be looking at those pictures? Are the kind of pictures that they'll be looking at and say, wow, that's my boy, oh, that's my girl. Are they going to be happy with that? So now imagine now when your mom and your dad are not happy about those pictures. How about God? Right? Hey, how about God? The one who's in control of everything. Right? So those are the things that we need to think about as when we are dating. Modern dating tends to assume that you need to get to know a person more deeply than anyone else in the world. Yeah, no, sometimes I have to know, as soon as you meet each other, so you need to spend time together and all this other stuff. But biblical dating says, no, it's about commitment. It's about having core values that are the same or almost close to being the same. It's about sacrificing, right? Modern dating tends to assume that there will be a high level of emotional involvement in dating. That the guy will say, if you don't have sex with me, that means you don't love me. Agree they say that? Yes, they say that. If you don't have sex with me, that means you don't love me. Right? So that means they don't care about you, they care about themselves, they care about their needs. That's what modern dating tends. Man, you say that you haven't kissed there. No, that's what they say. No, you guys haven't kissed, you haven't done these things and all that. And it looks bad, right? But the more you get closer to each other, emotionally, physically, and all this thing, I guarantee you, because I've been there before. Once the breakup happens, it's going to be miserable. Because you guys have been depending on each other. You have intertwined. You get it? That's why it hurts so much. It hurts so much. Okay? Because you're emotionally attached to that person. Now when they break up with you, something of you is broken as well. You're physically attached to that person. Now when they break up with you, something happens. The most effective adhesive that you can have in this world is sex. Okay? That's why someone will go and kill somebody for breaking up with them. And most of the people who kill other people, and you check and you search, they are the people that have had sex with people before. Right? On my previous relationship, like the girl that I wanted to get married to and everything, we had had sex before. And I was not married to her. And I was not saved then. I didn't know anything. You get it? But then when I got saved, I said, you know what? I feel like we should do things the God way. and all this thing. I know Jesus now. I've encountered Jesus, and He's fun. And I'm saying, like, you know what? I'm going to make things right. I go to her house. We talk about this thing, and she said, no, she couldn't manage. You get it? Then you say, I compromise on my faith. I compromise on my faith. No, it's my girlfriend. I've been with her for a long time, and all this other stuff. And later she breaks up with me. Then it was the most devastating thing that have ever happened with me. And I was in university, can you imagine? The lecturer is there teaching, and I'm somewhere else. Honestly, I'm telling you, it's true. I cried, like I literally cried. Like it was bad. Those guys were around, they know it. Shannon knows it, he was there, and all. Like it was really, really bad. Why? Because there was an attachment. And normally, like when you take an adhesive or a sellotape, you put it on the wall there. Or you put it here, where you have hair, and you pull it off. What happens? It rips off some of your hair, it becomes painful and everything. That's exactly what happens when you have had sex with somebody and they break up with you and you're not married. It's really painful. You don't want to experience that again. Okay? I'm sharing this not because I'm boasting about it, but because I'm sad that I didn't know better then. Okay? I'm saying you guys know better now. Don't do it. Don't go there. Don't step over the line. Or don't play close to the line. Stay far. Just be like Joseph. When Potiphar's wife said, come to bed with me, you handsome man. She tried to pull him and he ran. And when you run, your friends call you stupid. They say, mushish, nobody. You get it? So that's when you run, that's what God says, that's my boy right there. That's my girl right there. Why? Because you know you don't have to play close to the line. I get it? Okay. And modern dating just tells you that, no, this is your life. You can live it anyhow you want. And true that this is your life. You can live it anyhow you want. But is your life honoring God? Is what you are doing going to end up being the right thing at the end? But biblical dating will say, Ima, you have to do it the right way. Okay? And doing it the right way again, it doesn't give you any guarantees. You get it? You're trusting God. Why? You're just trusting God with that process of everything. And the other person is involved. And we have decisions. We have to make decisions. God has still given us our free will. He's still given us our free will to say, this person can say no to this thing, and this person can say no to this thing. Even you can say no to God. Do you know that? Do you know that we have free will? That's why we have free will. You can say no to God. God can say, you might take this way and say, hey, Sandra, I want to go this way. You can say no to him. But is it wise to say no to God? No, it's not wise. It's stupid to say no to God. So it's always good to listen to that. So I recently got through another breakup again, just recently. But you know what I like? I have peace. I've always had peace about the breakup. I was not miserable about the first breakup that I had. You know why? Because I did everything biblical. I talked to the girl over a year. I went and met with her, took her out for lunch. We talked, and I told her my intentions. These are my intentions with you. I don't want to be cute here with you and all this thing. If you're going to do this, it's going to be leading to marriage. I went and spent days with the parents, the dad, the mom, and I talked to them about everything. Okay. You get it? I honored everyone. I honored God. I honored the parents. I honored the girl and all that. Then later the girl said, no, but I feel otherwise about this relationship that we're having and all this thing. And I don't think it's going to work out and all this thing. And as a person, when you get into a relationship, you should know that no is not an answer. No is an answer as well. Right? It's equal to the yes. Right? It's the same answer as yes. If you get a no, it's fine. Right? Why? Because you're doing things the right way. And getting a no before you get married, awesome. You know why? Because you can get married, then later you divorce. Why? Because you didn't do things the right way. Now you're starting to see that, no, this is not my match, and all. You're starting to feel all this other stuff. And God does not want people to divorce. So it is better to stop it before you get into that. You get it? That's how dating is, right? It's bad if you're doing it the wrong way. So I'm going to finish off by saying the don'ts, what you should not do. Right? What you should not do when you want to date someone. Don't date someone just because you want to sleep with them. Right? That is what is happening right now in our society. People are dating each other because they just want to have sex. Oh, I just want to have sex with. I think she's cute. Okay? No, I'm being serious. Like, that's what you guys say. Can I get? Again, I got a test. Got a test. Hey, like delegate to sharp way. They want a six pack. So, if the primary goal of you dating someone is to have sex, then forget about dating anyone. It's bad. It's not supposed to be that, okay? Don't become emotionally dependent on that person. Right? It's so important to establish healthy boundaries. Recently, I was talking to one of my friends about boundaries and all these other things. And boundaries have to be defined. When you're saying, I'm setting this boundary, you have to know exactly what you're saying. You get it? A boundary says protecting you and protecting the next person. Not just for you. You're protecting you and protecting the next person. You know why? Because you are playing with your souls. And the soul is expensive. It's the most expensive thing that you can think of in the world. So it's very, very important that you don't become emotionally dependent on other people, right? Emotions can come on very strong in the beginning of a relationship. You look at cloud nine, look at heaven, it happens, right? It's often misinterpreted as deep love, and you think, I'm really, really loving this person and all these other things. Then eventually you get used to each other, that thing just fades away and all these other things. Because now at first you didn't have that commitment in the beginning, then everything is lost. Don't try and get as close to the line without crossing it. Stay away from the line. Some will say, should I be touching? Should I be doing this? Should I be? Just stay away from the line as far as you can. Right? Until you know that person. And the advice is, it's always good to start off as friends. There's nothing wrong. No, let's just be friends. Why? Because when you are friends, when you are friends with someone, you know what happens? You don't hide anything from each other. You get to know them so much as friends. You get to correct them without fear of losing them or anything, because they are your friends. So it's best when you start off as friends, you know each other, you know each other's family, you go to events together, you play games together, you know how they react when they are playing games and all this other stuff. Then eventually when now you see this thing, then you say, okay, now we can start off with this thing. Don't beat yourself up when you make a mistake. Sometimes we are trying so hard in our relationships and dating and all this other stuff, right? So when you miss the mark or cross the line, whenever one that, don't stay down. Go on, get up. I know right now, when you are speaking about this thing, there are things that you have done. They are playing right now in your mind. You have crossed the line several times. But the Bible says sin is really good for a short period of time. Right? You are playing with fire for a short period of time. You're enjoying. But you never know where you're going to end. Some end up with diseases, some end up with unwanted pregnancies and all sorts of other stuff. Why? Because they've been on the other side of the line. So you don't want that, right? So the devil, if you have done that, you have crossed the line. You have a forgiving God. You have to turn 180 degrees. and say, Jesus, I ask you to forgive me, for I have crossed the line. I haven't been honoring you with my relationship. I've been touchy-touchy, I've been smushy-smushy, I've been doing all this other stuff that you don't like. I've been sexting. You know sexting? You've been sexting your girlfriend. You've been sexting your boyfriend. You've been sending nudes. You've been doing all this other stuff. And I know people do that. Why? Because I've done that. You get it? But you have to turn around and say, nope, I'm not going to do that. Don't isolate yourself from counsel. Proverbs 19:20 says, where there is no guidance, people fall, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. There is safety. So I'll give you an example about my brother here, Tumisa. Like all these guys, I love them. You know why I love them? Because we talk about these things. We talk about girls. We talk about this. There's nothing wrong talking about those girls things, or talking about boys and getting to understand and everything like that. So in the beginning, when I was talking to these guys, CJ and I were talking to these guys about girls and all that, they'll be shy and they'll be denying some stuff and everything. Okay, no, it's fine. You're not dating me. Okay, it's fine. Then I'll be driving at night and people will be under the tree. And then I just dropped you off in I just dropped you off in Wood Hall, and you are here under the tree. What are you doing under the tree? Come, let's get in the car. Let's go home. No, it's not him. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. So now they get to understand. We get to talk. We call a meeting. We have what we call a court as guys. We call a meeting as guys, and we talk about these things and everything. Now, because the devil wants us to do things in isolation, because we know it's not right. He wants us to do things in the dark, right? So he doesn't want us to bring things in the light where we can be corrected and everything and all that. Now these guys, they understand. Now they start bringing things into the light. Say, no, there's this other girl I'm interested in. I think I want to date her and all this other thing. Then we ask him, what are your intentions with this girl? And all this other stuff. So about Tumisa, this is what I want to share about him. He recently had a girl as well. And he calls me. He said, no, that girl, my girlfriend called me, said, no, I should visit her and everything like that and all that. So the girl wanted to have sex with her. You know what he did? He refused. He ran. And he was happy, and I was happy, and we are proud, and we are thanking the Lord and all these things. Why? Because there was counsel before. He knew there was rebuking, there was correction, there was nice things happening and all this. And he knew that if I do this thing, this is the wrong thing before the eyes of the Lord. Okay? And he ran. And it's better to look stupid before the Lord than to look smart before your friends. You get it? So those are the things that we have to stand for. And by us doing that, your faith is growing. You're becoming stronger. Your self-control is growing. You're becoming stronger and stronger all the time because you know you want to do that. So the devil wants us to do things in the dark. You get a girlfriend, you don't tell anyone. You don't get counsel. You don't get correction. You don't get the rebuking. And because you cannot hide it. You get it? Or you are here with us and you are just like this, sulking around and all these things because you just went through a breakup and you can't tell us that you went through a breakup because no one knows that you are even in a relationship. You get it? That's what happens. The devil wants us to keep us in isolation. When you start dating, don't stop chasing your dreams and serving Jesus. When you start dating, don't stop chasing your dreams and serving Jesus. Right? Just because you start dating someone doesn't mean everything else in your life has to take a back seat. You forget yourself. You don't want to even to do dishes at home. You don't want to do your chores because you're going for an appointment. No, serious. Most of you do that because you're going for an appointment. Some of you even tell your parents that you're going for Ignite and you don't even show up here. We have had so many of such incidents happening because of this thing. So for me, when I pray, like now I'm praying for a wife, I'm like, God, I want you to give me this lady and this wife, my future wife. I want her heart to be hidden in Christ, that I have to go through you, God, to get her. That's what I'm praying. So somebody that I want to draw them closer to Jesus, not to draw them closer to me. So even with you, those people should be pointing you to Jesus. They should be drawing you close to Jesus. No, let's go together to Jesus. They say, no, come to me, come to me, come to me. Right? That's what people do. So we have to continue serving Jesus and being responsible. Don't date someone who doesn't hold the same core beliefs as you. If you're a Christian, then for heaven's sake, don't jump into a relationship with someone who is not. Okay? I've had opportunities. I could be married now. I've had opportunities of girls, beautiful girls, and all this other stuff. And people was like, why are you not dating? Why are you not asking her out? I'm like, she's not Christian. And it's reason enough for me not to date that person because they're not Christian. They're non-believers, right? Because it says in, can you read it for me, Tapa, in 2 Corinthians 6:14? Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. Then I like how it continues. I want you to get that.
2 Corinthians
6:14.
6:14.
Just read it, I'll stop you.
Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Belial?
Bilal is, in other versions, is a prostitute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? What agreement is there between the temple of God and idols? For we are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and will be their God, and they will be my people. Therefore, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord.
Yes, just stop there. You get it? What value do you have between Christ and a prostitute, and a non-believer? So that's a reason enough for me not to date someone, whether they're beautiful or whatsoever. If they're not Christian, they're not for me. Simple. You get it? And there are other things that you can play a role in there. Don't have an unrealistic expectations as well. Don't have unrealistic. Don't get hung up on the perfect relationship of being with a perfect person. Oh, I want a perfect person. Oh, and what? You get it? So don't hang out on that. Don't think that a romantic relationship or getting married will complete you. No. Whether you're getting into a relationship, whether you're dating or not, it's not going to complete you. Only thing that is going to complete you in your life is Jesus Christ. It's the only one who can fill that space, that void, that loneliness, that everything. Is the only one. Okay. You see, no matter how much water you pour in, if there's a hole in the bucket, it will always run dry. Okay? No matter how perfect your Mr. Right or Miss Right is, they can't keep you happy all the time. And the truth is, it's not their job to. It's not their job to keep you happy. Right? Yes. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend, it's not their job to keep you happy. It's yours, right, and mine. So learn to love yourself the way God loves you. So self-love, you have to love yourself the way God loves you, the way God sees you. He says you are wonderfully made. I have better thoughts for you. I have better plans for you. You are my daughter. You are my son. I know. I knew you before you were born. That's how God knows you. And I'm like, but he knows me better, better than anyone. No, it's only God who knows you better than anyone because he knows exactly how many hairs you have in your head. You get it? Yeah. So don't put everything in that person, okay? If you expect a person to fulfill you, you will be bitterly disappointed. Okay? People disappoint you a lot. Yes, people will disappoint you. Even married people, they disappoint each other. Do you know that? Yes, every single time. They disappoint each other. But you know what's keeping them together? The decision to say, I love this person. They choose that person over the disappointment. You get it? My friends, I have a dog called Muffin. I love Muffin. And people will say, why do you like dogs? I'm like, dogs are loyal. That's why I like dogs. They're loyal and they're faithful. So Muffin is faithful to me. Why? I'll kick my friend. And I say, come, boy. And he'll come, wagging the tail. That's how dogs are loyal. But people are not like that. Because they can reason, they can do all sorts of things and other stuff. You get it? So you cannot say, no, this person, they're going to fulfill me and all that, right? God is the only one who completes us. God has to be our source of identity. God has to be our source of what? Identity, because why? We are made in His image. We are made to glorify Him. Apart from God, we are nothing. That's supposed to be our source of identity and security and joy. Or eventually, we'll be left unsatisfied. We see so many people that we think we love and all that, celebrities, movie stars, artists, and all this other stuff. And right now, if you can Google and check maybe one of your favorite celebrities, you find that they are in their 4th, 5th marriage because they're unsatisfied. They have all the money and all this other stuff. They don't have that fulfilling thing. They don't have that joy. Why? Because they're doing dating wrong. They're doing marriage wrong. You get it? But it's only God who can satisfy us and who can fulfill us. Okay.